Hello, I am hip-hop artist Frankey Barrz, and I got the keys to the art community, and I wear this hat because I'm the host. I want to talk to you today about the difference between poetry and rap, okay? Poetry is stories told through rhyming words that are not within meter. Rap is a story told through rhyming words that is within meter. So a rapper tells a story through rhyming words within bars or within meters. They sound like, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bars. And goes on, typically to about 16 bars. And you have 4 beats per measure, or 4 beats per bar. So we're going to hear from some poets and we're going to hear from some rappers today. On the policy side, our key word today for your learning is gentrification. Gentrification. Now, what is gentrification? Gentrification is when a residence or a district is being renovated to cater to the middle class. And we're going to hear about what gentrification is and how gentrification can be an effect positively or negatively on our city. Our first place and person that we're going to visit on the art side is Gypsy Sally's with hip-hop artist Jon Eye. The hip-hop artist Jon Eye is going to perform a little bit at Gypsy Sally's in Georgetown, Washington, D.C., and he's going to share his opinion on how he feels policy affects art. So let's go to Georgetown to hear from hip-hop artist Jon Eye on how art and policy affect each other in his world, from his perspective as a hip-hop artist. And let's go to Bus Boys and Poets, Poetry and Politics, to hear Community Leader Dionne Reeder talk about some info behind gentrification.
People ask what it's like to be a poet. What's it like to be a poet? People ask what it's like to be a poet. What's it like? What's it like? You know me, you know my flow is neat. I go complete, you'll notice me as I roll the streets. The reason leaves on my bonus seats. And the reason for procedures performing at my leisure. The believer, striking like a cleaver. My rhymes is true, it's good views. So you can be here with all me. The ghost writer is on me. And for rap for 3 days, it's no fun.
Yeah, my name is Jonathan Iredell. My stage name is Jon Eye, Jon space EYE. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia. By day, I'm a math and physics teacher, but by night I do live graffiti art and hip-hop music, as well as spoken word poetry and videography. And they like to uplift local musicians and bands and let them share their music and art. And one of the best ways to get your message out to a lot of people in a vibrant and more expansive and inviting way is through art and music. And so I think the political scene is very impactful in art and music, and allows people, it pushes people to express their catharsis or their support or opposition to certain stances. For example, if you're trying to save the environment, you can spread your message to more people by making art or music that expresses your points of views. And I think today in this political culture, there's definitely a very high stakes and a lot going on, and a lot of things that people disagree with that is going on with our protecting the environment, protecting nature, and protecting civil rights for people. Art and music is also a great influence on the political scene to get people's views out.
is a third-generation Washingtonian. She lives in the same house on Kenyon Street that her parents bought with a rent/lease to buy. And you don't find many of those in the district anymore. And in fact, there are more people moving out of the district because they can't afford to pay the high taxes, or they can't afford the cost of housing here, even apartments. So Dionne has been hands-on as an advocate for making sure that people here in the District of Columbia are able to keep their homes and buy their homes. So, you know, I'm not going to take up any more time because I know you all have quite a few questions to ask. I thank you for your patience.
What I'd like for you, because you have worked east of the river and
Yes.
you've been around the entire city, one of the biggest issues in this city is the effect of gentrification.
Yes.
What does gentrification mean to you?
What it means to me is that if my parents didn't purchase their house over 40 years ago, my sister and I would not be able to live in Columbia Heights. My sister has her master's degree in business. She's a whiz at math, and she chose to really push her career in catering. She's a licensed caterer. You guys know my resume, one of which I've been very proud of. I've been at a grade 14 level in the District of Columbia government, so you all know what that salary looks like. And with all of that said, we would not be able to afford to live comfortably in Columbia Heights in a 3-bedroom row brick house like we are today. I've seen my entire neighborhood be moved out through gentrification, so it's something that affects me more personal than probably many people that's in this room. Hello, I'm Dionne Reeder, and I'm excited to be able to support the arts. I had a wonderful conversation and meeting with some of the wonderful individuals around the arena stage and the work that they're doing, and it pains me to see how we have now kind of marginalized that particular part of our city, and it's really what brings the soul of DC. And you know, Busboys and what Andy's doing and throughout the entire city and even in this region, it really opens up for how young people and even our seniors and everyone, it gives us an opportunity to really expose ourselves and really be able to be vibrant and really showcase who we are as people. Art has been throughout all of our lives and throughout all of our history, and it shapes who you are as a person. So without that element, even in our schools and even in our justice system, it really closes our ability to be open-minded. So I'm excited to be here. I want us to really be involved in the arts. Even for me personal, my granddaughter plays her guitar each and every day, and arts is a major way of her understanding our world. So thank you for this opportunity.
Excellent. So you just got to hear from hip-hop artist Jon Eye at Gypsy Sally's, and you got to connect with community leader and advocate for our DC residents, Dionne Reeder, at Busboys and Poets, mixing a little poetry with a little bit of policy. Po. Watch out for the po. No, don't trust the po. Run from the po. Poetry and policy. We got to see. Yeah, so we're going to visit the Embassy of Bolivia. I'm going to take you all the way to Bolivia so that you can dance with a Bolivian dancer named Fabiana Silvia. Now, Fabiana Silvia is a professional Bolivian dancer who runs a nonprofit organization in Washington, D.C. We're also going to take you to visit our Senator of Washington, D.C., Senator Brown, at the Civil War Memorial Museum. We're going to hear from her and share her story as we also go to the Civil War Memorial Museum, an historic location that honors and captures the history of our Civil War soldiers. At this location, at this museum, we hosted a statehood, DC statehood, rap concert where our very own Senator Michael Brown came out to speak about how rap can affect or influence DC becoming the 51st state, gaining full democracy and equal rights for the 202. Let's go to the Embassy of Bolivia and let's go to the Civil War Memorial Museum.
Where here in the U.S., the Bolivian community had the freedom for many, many years to show their culture through the dance, which is very much appreciated for the Bolivian community because we have the freedom to express ourselves through the art, in this case, dance. My name is Fabiana Silvia, and I've been part of the DC Arts Night, representing a dance from Bolivia. My dance is La Cueca Chaqueña, which represents the south of Bolivia.
It's great to be here. I'm not going to rap today. I rap all the time, but I have two daughters who are hip-hop dancers and have made me sign an agreement never to do it in public. They're afraid of their reputation, so I won't bother you with my rap. But I'm here to say that, first of all, I'm here because this is something that Anise Jenkins is doing. And Anise Jenkins has been the soul of our movement since I've been involved. When I first got involved 12 years ago, there were a lot of people talking about one vote in the House of Representatives. Anise was not one of those people. She always spoke about statehood. She's always been true to the cause, and we all need to support her in her effort. And even though I won't rap, I'll give you my favorite quote, one of my favorite quotes. It's from Thomas Jefferson. It's, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. One of the most basic rights in any democracy, according to Jefferson, is representation." So I want to make it clear, we're not asking for any favors here. We're not asking for any compensation or any sort of gift from the federal government. All we're asking for is the restitution of the rights that Jefferson said were given us by God. So we need to start going up to Capitol Hill without our hat in our hands. We've worked very, very hard, and the good news is that there are 205 co-sponsors on bills right now that would make us a state. We just got a brand new one in the Senate, Senator Klobuchar. We just got another one in the House of Representatives from California. I think California has more than 25 co-signers on the bill. They really have been a great support. So we need to keep that going, and I want you to know that in the last 6 weeks, I have met with every Republican senator or with every office. I've met with a few members, but I've also met with staff, every Republican that's on the Puerto Rico bill for statehood. We're trying to get them on the DC bill because we need to have some Republicans. We have no Republicans. We've got 205 Democrats. So anything you can do, if you're from a state where there's a Republican senator or congressman that's not on the that's not on the bill, please let us know, and we'll take you up to Capitol Hill with us.
We have an activist in Washington, D.C. who used to work for our first representative, Walter Fauntleroy, and he said that for years and years and years they tried to get Martin Luther King's birthday made a national holiday, and they couldn't get co-signers on the bill. And then Stevie Wonder wrote a song, did it on the West Lawn of the Capitol, 70,000 people showed up, and the very next day they started to get co-signers, and as we all know, the King holiday is a national holiday. So art always leads the way, and so it's great to see people being engaged here in a movement that's so important to all of us.
Washington, D.C. is home to nearly 700,000 U.S. citizens. They live in 131 neighborhoods that make up our nation's capital. But did you know that the residents of your nation's capital have no voting representation in U.S. Congress?
Yeah, I know. That's why we stand for ours and theyhood. I'm Frankey Barrz, got the keys to statehood. We amend the Constitution for equal rights from 16th and Penn. Now clean this dirty mess and Washington it. Didn't have the rights while we never voted. Year 1801, Congress stole it. You may live on the land, but you'll never own it.
That's why the residents of Washington, D.C. need your help so they too can have equal rights. Call your member of Congress and tell them to support D.C. statehood in Congress.
Yes, so it was excellent to be able to take you to the Bolivian embassy, the embassy of Bolivia, to witness the dance of Fabiana Silvia. Fabiana Silvia definitely delivers for Bolivia. And it was excellent to be able to take you to the Civil War Memorial Museum to hear from Senator Michael Brown on how he feels rap affects full democracy in Washington, D.C. Yes, we're going to go to the South Side, across the river, at WEAC Radio, to let you hear from an ANC commissioner who also does poetry. Here we go again, poetry and policy. She is the advisory neighborhood commissioner of one part of Ward 8, Southeast DC. And that is Southeast with an F, not with a TH. And this is none other than Tiffany Lancaster, or you could call her Commissioner Lancaster, who is the ANC commissioner of one part of Ward 8, and also is a spoken word artist. So right here in this one woman, you get poetry and policy in one vessel. We're going to show you this fine line real quick between poetry and rap. So let's go to the South Side at Speak Easy at WEAC Radio, and let's return to the Civil War Memorial Museum for the DC Statehood Rap Concert to hear from none other than a vocalist, Maggalouch.
Yes. In the district, we take taxes, but no one asks us what we want done with them. That's just the facts, kids. Anti-fascist for the masses. People stand up, raise your fist, not your glasses, harass us if you want to, but understand none of us are free unless we all are. So here's the plan. We want statehood so we can make good, and we can make a state great and a make good. We want to help the nation through our delegation. Give Eleanor the vote, no trophies for participation. Ratifying the man. Let me say it again. That's the state of Colombia, a revolution. Here we are, the beating heart. We are the 51st day.
Hi, I'm Megan Dunn. I've lived in DC for about 12 years, graduated from American University. My day job is marketing strategist, but I also am an artist and a musician, and I have been very passionate about using art for activism and social justice because it's extremely powerful, and it is a medium that can massage new ideas and push the boundaries a little bit into normal thinking, to get people to think differently about certain causes, because music is a universal language and people can all understand it throughout all walks of life. So using art, music to, again, massage messages in them, which will hopefully resonate with a whole host of people, because everyone loves music. So putting arts and activism together is extremely important, not only to me, but and to everyone. And we don't, whether or not we think it or not, the activism that we see, there's art in it. So I'm proud to be involved with the Stand Up Free DC. They are a really awesome organization that's been trying to use art for activism, and I'm here and I'm on board for that. So I'm glad I was asked to write a song about statehood, and I tried my hand in rapping and hip hop, and I loved it. And I'm excited to see what the song and what the art can do for this cause.
The mother I was searching for was myself.
Yeah.
What I was looking for was my passion, but I lost it looking towards everybody else's passion and following everything they told me to do.
Yeah.
So this is entitled Passion.
Yeah.
And this is when I finally found it. Passion. P equals persistence, push, perseverance, and pressure. A equals absence from negative people, places, and things. S equals selfless, sacrifice is sufficient because that's what you are, a star. But it doesn't happen without S equals sacrifice and savers minus the steady income. I equals I, meaning yourself, because no one will believe in your dream more than you. And because sometimes no one else is left, and the only one who believes in you is you. O equals outrageous stunts pulled by people around you who want to be you, including your family who want to bring you down, demolish your reputation, and take you out. N equals now. Move on it now. Be in the now. Whatever the noun. Nanny, none, narrator, note taker, notary, novel writer, nugget digger, national politician, Neptune explorer, Nefertiti historian, non-abortionist activist, negativity healer, near-death expert, Nike tester, Nissan factory worker, non-abolitionist, non-judgmentalist, and nice person. This is your passion. What you haven't found in this list, create. Don't debate the evidence of your life. Your passion is that thing that you do with ease. It's that thing that you would do without thinking twice. It's that thing that you would do without being paid or offered a high price. This is your life passion. Thank you very much. My name is Tiffany Lancaster. I am a recently former ANC Commissioner in 8D05 in Ward 8. In the history of the arts, when it comes to poetry, directly in the hip-hop arts and crafts, back in the day, that's what they used to be a political force to change, the realities of society. Now, in today's present day and age, policies have changed, things have advanced, evolution has definitely occurred, and so things have changed where we cannot truly, in a sense, speak up within the political forum like we used to be able to. But I think that it's important that the policies that now reflect and affect every ward in DC at large, we need to talk about those things using the art forms. And there are certain particular council members that are very involved in the arts, such as Councilmember David Grosso. David Grosso has the, Arts and Mars event where, we pretty much took over the Wilson building, and he allowed us to, speak our arts on a mic and say what we needed to say. I was able to, as an even politician, come out and say what I needed to say in terms of encouraging the African diaspora, colored diaspora abroad. And we've established a great relationship. And so if you focus on those people and those politicians that do believe in the arts, I think that that's how it helps in politics with politicians, is that, you have to find some of those of like mind that are willing to allow you to have the voice that you need. And once you do that, then they can invite you in to do certain, opinions on a policy, legislation, testimonies, testifying before the council, writing legislation, and things like that. It's about building those relationships. And so I think that today's day and age, with the evolution that has occurred, I think that now there are politicians that are realizing, okay, we now have a new millennial generation, and these millennials are not going to allow us to stop them from speaking. Although we can shut them down, maybe we need to listen, because we won't be here after we go. They'll still be here. And so some of them are reaching out, and so that's the great part about the politics of today.
Washington, D.C. is home to nearly 700,000 U.S. citizens. They live in 131 neighborhoods that make up our nation's capital. But did you know that the residents of your nation's capital have no voting representation in U.S. Congress?
Yeah, I know. That's why we stand for ours and theyhood. I'm Frankey Barrz, got the keys to statehood. We amend the Constitution for equal rights from 16th and Penn. Now clean this dirty mess and Washington. Didn't have the rights while we never voted. Year 1801, Congress stole it. You may live on the land, but you'll never own it.
That's why the residents of Washington, D.C. need your help, so they too can have equal rights. Call your member of Congress and tell them to support D.C. statehood in Congress.
And now it is time to take it from and transition from our vocalist Maggalouch, who also raps, and from our poetry artist / ANC Commissioner elected official Lancaster, and transition to where Frankey drops bars on today's story. Come with me. Make sure you got your good shoes on and tied tight as we run the city. To the city, I'm a leader with attack cause I'm a reader. I just work with Dionne Reeder with Andy Salao Weaver. Catch me in some vintage designer suits, vintage designer boots, the music's inside our roots. Performing with Maggalouch, set fires inside the booth. Statehood, the city supporting our pursuits. Produced a rap concert with a couple groups, giving candidates the platform to say the truth. Well, Michael Brown got the keys to the senator, served like a minister, got a dancer from Bolivia. Hat means I got the keys to the embassy, made for this since the embryo. Viciously got a wicked flow. Got the keys to the politician and pastor, multifaceted like Commissioner Lancaster. Got the keys, you thieves forgot to check the locks. Artists and officials, I connect the dots. Yeah. Artists and officials, I connect the dots.